Okay, so good evening. I'm doing a late night quick report in Times News report number 102 to just kind of keep everybody up to date on what just happened today because a lot of people are not paying attention to what has went down. Y'all are paying more attention to the fact that Trump has got this wrestling event or UFC event going on in the White House where he just basically done turned the White House into a big fight or wrestling show or MMA fight or something because his best friend Dana White is he owns the UFC or whatever. But this is a distraction because what has went down today, this is Trump's birthday, and I guess the whole theme of this is fight, fight, fight. That's why he's got the UFC fight um, going on the White House grounds or whatever, to kind of coincide with his assassination attempt. So this whole fight, fight, fight is a theme. And it's also a distraction to take your mind off the fact that he said that he has entered into a peace agreement with Iran. Now they're saying that Israel is a part of this agreement, but we all know that earlier in the day, the news released stories saying that Trump was livid at the fact that Iran bombed Beirut. Israel had bombed Beirut, and Israel was still firing on Iran. They were still at war with Iran. And throughout the week, they're saying that Trump has been on the phone cussing Prime Minister Netanyahu out, saying that Israel needs to stand down and stop bombing Iran and go along with his peace agreement because Trump wanted to enter into this agreement with Iran today on his birthday, June the 14th. That's why I wanted to get this out today because this is his birthday. And he wanted to get this peace agreement done today on his birthday as a way to, I guess, be written in the history books as Trump ended the war between Israel and Iran and America, which he started the war between America and Iran. I mean, what was that, 2 months ago? Trump started the war. He put American troops into Iran or, in the battlefield with Israel like 2 months ago. So Trump did all this because he wants to go down in history as the president who ended all of these wars. He wants to be known as the peace president, the president of peace. But at the same time, he started a lot of wars. Remember, he started the war with Mexico. He started the war in Venezuela where he kidnapped the president. Um, he wants to invade Cuba. He wants to take over Cuba, which I believe he's going to give authority over Cuba to Rubio for some reason. I don't know why. I think that's what they're planning on doing. But anyway, what happened today? People are not paying attention, but the UFC event, in my opinion, was a distraction to keep people's minds off of what's going on with Israel and Iran because Trump is saying now that the Strait of Hormuz is open and that gas is going to go back down, the straits is open and everything is solved and we're back to normal. No, it's not. It is not back to normal. First of all, neither Israel or Iran wanted to enter into this peace agreement. Neither one of them did. Israel wants to obliterate Iran. Iran wants to eliminate Israel. Those two warring nations hate each other. And like I explained before in the earlier videos, that this is a holy war that's going on over there in the Middle East between Iran and Israel. It is the seeds of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which are the people in Israel, versus the seeds of Abraham, Ishmael, and Esau. And so that war is going to continue until Jesus Christ comes, until the second coming. Jesus Christ comes back. So the only thing Trump is doing, like I told y'all, is he is fulfilling prophecy. He is going to basically betray Israel and abandon them to fight on their own. And it's going to get to the point where Israel is going to have to go through the time of Jacob's trouble, where they're going to experience a time in their nation worse than the Holocaust. They're going to have to go through this. The reason why is because the nation of Israel, the Jewish people, the ethnic Jews who were God's original chosen people, they rejected Jesus Christ. So they're going to have to go through the time of Jacob's trouble before they are delivered and saved. So Trump is only fulfilling prophecy. That's why I said a lot of people, oh, she's a Trump supporter, she's talking up for Trump. No, what it is that I know that Trump is the person that God has put into place. I'm not Democrat or Republican. I hate politics. I don't have nothing to do with politics. The only thing I do is I watch to see what's going on in the world news because it affects each and every one of us, including myself. So I'm watching, and everything that Trump is doing, whenever he does something that is falling in line with fulfilling the prophecies, the eschatological prophecies in the Bible, I'm cheering him on. Go ahead, Trump. Go ahead. Do what you got to do, because Trump is the appropriate person. You know, he is the right president at the right time to do these things. So every time Trump makes, first of all, Trump, his whole personality, his whole celebrity, his whole persona represents money, success, wealth, power. And so God has to place somebody like Trump into position to represent these things, to represent the world. He put Trump in. He's the right person because he symbolizes everything that this world stands for: worldly success, worldly fame, worldly money, worldly privilege, worldly power, everything. Trump he personifies all of this stuff. So this is the reason why I believe he is the right person. He's the right president to be in there to fulfill these end time prophecies. So what's going to happen is, and we all know that Trump had a lot of bankruptcies and business ventures to fail, and America is going to be another one of them. And he's not going to intentionally do it. Because Trump, I believe, is desperately trying to save this country. But what Trump does not understand, or maybe he does, I don't know, but it can't be saved. It's not going to be saved. I don't care who's in the White House, it's not going to be saved. So the world is laughing at America because we're holding wrestling events and fighting concerts on the White House lawn while the world is at war. And our president is worried about building a ballroom where rich people can dance and eat caviar or drink champagne or whatever it is they do, while the world is at war and countries are running out of gas. And he's saying that this Strait of Hormuz is open, but we will see what happens tomorrow. He has basically abandoned Israel and left Israel to fight Iran on its own. And that's okay, because God is going to intervene and he's going to save Israel. He's going to protect, he's going to supernaturally intervene and deliver Israel out of the hands of Israel's enemies. But first, Israel is going to have to suffer because of its rejection of Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. So all of these things are falling into place. The Bible, prophecy is fulfilled that Israel is going to be abandoned by all the nations of the world to fight and defend herself on her own. And Israel is going to only have to rely on God and God only to deliver them from the hands of their enemies. And this is when God is going to supernaturally intervene. So, and this is when Jesus Christ returns, and they will realize that Jesus is the Son of God and who he said he was when they crucified him 2,000 years ago. So this is all got to happen. And like I said, every time Trump do something, hey, I'm cheering Trump on. I'm like, go ahead, Trump, because the faster you knock all of this down and destroy it, the sooner Jesus Christ will come down and correct every wrong, right every wrong, make everything right. So, yeah. Um, Other than that, yeah, that's the reason why we saw the reports in the news earlier this morning that Trump was pissed off because he said that Netanyahu was still over there, Israel, Israel is still over there bombing Iran, and Trump was on the phone cussing Netanyahu out like, stop, stand down. You see, I'm trying to enter into this peace agreement because it's my birthday, and I want this deal to be complete and signed on my 80th birthday. So you stop bombing Iran and let me do this. So, yeah. But neither side is happy with this peace agreement, Israel or Iran, and it's not going to it's not going to hold. It's not going to hold. It's not going to end the war. Um, and we'll see if that strait is opened, which I don't believe it's going to be open. Um, the world is going to go into complete turmoil because a lot of countries are going to run out of gas and oil. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see what happens this week. Today is Sunday. We're going to see in the next few days how this peace agreement holds. But I hope y'all enjoyed the fights. Man, that was the biggest distraction. That was a distraction just to get everybody's mind off of what's happening over there. But that peace agreement is not going to hold, and that strait gas is not about to go down. But we'll see. But what else is happening? 3 Philadelphia police officers were shot this weekend, and the suspect was killed. Let's see. They said the man was like 57 years old. 3 Philadelphia officers shot. They said one was shot in the hip, one was shot in the face. It says 3 West Philadelphia, in West Philadelphia, born and raised in West Philadelphia. Man, Winfield shootout. The suspect is dead. All right. Let me just kind of get a summary of what happened. So this was late Saturday night, June 13th. During a violent confrontation, 3 Philadelphia police officers were shot and wounded in the city's Winfield neighborhood. The suspect, identified as 57-year-old Eric Franks, was shot and killed by police during the exchange of gunfire. All 3 officers survived, although he shot them at close range. Said they initially responded to reports of a vehicle that had been struck by gunfire. Franks, who was a retired Philadelphia firefighter and Marine veteran, confronted the officers. He became increasingly agitated as they explained they needed to secure the area as a crime scene. Surveillance footage shows Franks getting in the officers' faces and shoving a police sergeant. When officers moved to detain him, Franks drew a handgun and fired directly at them, prompting 4 officers to return fire. What the heck got into him? Philadelphia Police Commissioner Kevin Bethel stated that nearly 50 pieces of ballistic evidence were recovered from the scene. Despite the heavy gunfire, all 3 struck officers survived by the grace of God. Officer 1 was shot in the face. He's currently stable. Officer 2 shot in the hip, currently stable. And Officer 3 shot in the leg, currently stable. I guess more. The injured personnel includes a 39-year-old sergeant. He had 8 years on the force, a 30-year-old officer. He had 7 years on the force, and a 43-year-old officer with 2 years on the force. They are currently receiving treatment at the Penn Presbyterian Medical Center Franks was struck in the chest and leg during the exchange. He was transported to Jefferson Hospital where he was pronounced dead shortly after 11 p.m. Records indicate Franks had served nearly 20 years with the Philadelphia Fire Department before retiring in September 2025. What? He owned local businesses and had a valid Philadelphia license to carry firearm. Had a valid Pennsylvania license to carry firearms. Investigators confirmed that Franks had no initial connection to the original vehicle shooting call that brought police to the block. So he had nothing to do with this. So what, he just went stupid? Okay. Maybe it's not saying much about this guy's background and what caused him to snap the way he did. Eric Franks, 57 years old. He just retired last year from being a firefighter. And he just approached him and opened fire on them when they were responding to a call regarding a vehicle shooting that he had nothing to do with. That's insane. And then there's another story. Philadelphia shootings leave 1 dead, 3 women injured in separate incidents. That happened today. But I didn't post a news story on it. I just saw this just now. What's going on in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love? What's going on? 3 women were injured in a shooting at 15th and Clearfield Streets early Sunday. That happened today. Police said a separate shooting on Brill Street left 1 man dead Saturday night, and then 3 officers were shot on Saturday. So it's just a bunch of shooting and killing going on up in Philly. That is crazy. This is insane. Okay, so let's see what else. 12 people got killed in a plane crash. Well, it was actually a helicopter crash here in Kansas City. Well, here in Missouri. It happened in Butler, Missouri, which is like 65 miles from Kansas City. And these people were killed. It was 11 skydivers and a pilot that were killed today. They died in Missouri plane crash, troopers say. Did this happen today? Let's see what we know. According to the Missouri State Highway Patrol, the crash happened near Butler Memorial Airport about an hour south of Kansas City. Missouri Highway Patrol Sergeant Justin Ewing told Associated Press the plane was taking people up to skydive. I always talk about these people playing with their lives, testing fate like this. More daredevils testing fate and lost. Gambling with their lives and lost. Dennis Jacobs, the acting airport manager and Bates County Emergency Management Agency director, said it had just taken off and made a left turn before the crash. So 11 skydivers were killed, and the 12th was the pilot who did not survive. In my opinion, I think it was losing power, the helicopter. It was losing power, and he was trying to make it over to the highway and land, and he stalled and went down nose first and caught fire. The official cause of the crash is still unknown. And see, I don't think that thing has a black box. Teams from the National Transportation Safety Board and Federal Aviation Administration are on their way to investigate, according to Missouri Highway Patrol. That's why we talking about people going up in the plane to jump down out the sky. Playing with your life. People be playing. I mean, they're adrenaline junkies, and they like that rush and like to say that they did something. Oh, I jumped out of a plane. So what? I mean, you gamble with your life like this. This is exactly why people like this are called daredevils. Because the devil dare you to do something stupid like that. Do something dumb like that. Play with your life. Test God to see if he saves you. And you see, even Jesus himself said, don't ever put God to the test to do something like that. Do not gamble with your life like that. It's sad, but I don't know what to say. Rest in peace. May God have mercy on their souls. That's the only thing I can really say. It's crazy. When did this happen? It happened when? It happened either yesterday or today. And Butler, Missouri. Hmm. Yeah, it happened today on Sunday. Yeah. Okay, so NFL mourns the death of Aldon Smith, age 36. Aldon Smith. When did he die? Aldon Smith. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me pause a minute talking about Aldon Smith. Looked like there was another Oliver Tree dies. Singer producer killed in helicopter crash. I guess he was one of the victims, maybe. Nope, this is another crash. This happened today. Oliver Tree, the singer and producer known for hit songs like Life Goes On and When I'm Down, has died in a helicopter crash, authorities said. He was 32 years old. American singer and producer Oliver Tree was one of 6 people killed Sunday morning, which was today, when 2 helicopters collided over Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and crashed, authorities said. So this just happened today. So there's 6 more people who died in helicopter crashes. He was 32 years old. What we know, Oliver Tree's death. Rio de Janeiro's military fire department said one of the 2 helicopters crashed in the parking lot of a car dealership where several electric vehicles were parked, which started a fire. Police said Tree, his last name is Tree, was on the list of passengers handed to aviation authorities, though they hadn't been able to identify the bodies yet. They said his name was on the list of passengers who flew in that helicopter, so they know at least that he was one of the people who died in this crash. Tree performed in Buenos Aires, Argentina on June 4th. He posted a video of him playing soccer in a Brazilian neighborhood on Instagram Saturday, which was yesterday. So he was in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Well, no, he posted this on his Instagram on Saturday, and then he died the next day in the plane crash. Officials said an investigation is underway to determine the cause of the collision. So he was born in Santa Cruz, California. Tree was a singer, director, and record producer known for songs including Life Goes On and Miss You with Robin Schulz, according to Hollywood Reporter. He gained a following on Vine in 2016 with his alter ego Turbo, who wore oversized 80s clothing and had a signature bowl cut. He released his first song, When I'm Down, the same year and signed with Atlantic Records a year later. He released his 4th album, Love You Madly, Hate You Badly, in April, Billboard reports so. This young man was 32 years old. So this is 2 helicopter crashes that occurred today. One in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and one here in Butler, Missouri. 12 people died here in Missouri, and 6 people died in Rio de Janeiro. Ugh. Oh, okay. So where was I at? Let's talk about Aldon Smith. Aldon Smith died. He was only 36. And they said that he died. They found him in his truck dead. That he had just had been performing a Good Samaritan act and had delivered. Let me read it to you. It says the official cause of death for former NFL star Aldon Smith has not yet been determined and is currently under investigation by the Santa Clara County Medical Examiner's Office. It says On Saturday, June 13th, 2026, which was yesterday, the 36-year-old former All-Pro linebacker spent his final hours volunteering, helping a friend deliver pizza donations to a homeless charity in the Bay Area. So he had just did a good act, a charitable act of feeding the homeless in the Bay Area. Shortly after completing the delivery, his friend, Amir Shirazi, left Smith briefly in the passenger seat of his truck to turn on some lights at his home. When Shirazi returned to the vehicle, he found Smith slumped over, unresponsive and slightly twitching. After attempting CPR on the scene, Smith was rushed to Good Samaritan Hospital. Isn't that something? He just was being a good Samaritan by feeding the homeless pizza with his friend, and then gets rushed to Good Samaritan Hospital in San Jose, where he was pronounced dead less than an hour later. While his companion suspected a medical emergency like a heart attack or a seizure, Chief Medical Examiner Michelle Jordan noted that both the cause and manner of death remain pending. Standard toxicology and autopsy results can take several weeks or months to finalize. Rest in peace, young man. They said he went through he had a pretty difficult life and dealt with some addiction issues and some homelessness and domestic violence issues. And he played in the NFL for 6 years, and he just was battling a lot of demons in his life. But he just appeared to be a pretty good young man. He just had a really rough upbringing, a very traumatic childhood that spilled over into his adult life, and he was trying to get himself together. He was in recovery and everything. So they don't know what happened. They said he was complaining about chest pains after delivering the pizzas, and then they find him dead in his truck. So they don't know if it is, he may have had a heart attack delivering the pizzas or something. We don't know. Or maybe he relapsed. We don't know. But anyway, either way it goes, he died he died right after he just did a very good deed. And the guy, for all that I'm reading about him and from what I've seen, seemed like a pretty good, decent person. He just had a lot of demons that he was battling in this life. So hopefully he's at peace now. And rest in peace, young man. Alden Smith, 36 years old. Just a young life. Very sad. Okay, so the rest of and God bless his friend who found him and who was with him at the time. So I know he's gonna have to, get some therapy or some counseling, because that's a pretty traumatic experience to see your friend die after you guys had done a good deed, delivering food to the homeless, and then he dies afterwards. So the friend, God bless him too. Amir Shirazi is his name. Ugh. Life is but a vapor. Our lives are a vapor in time. That's what the Bible says. Just a vapor. What else? What else? So we're talking about Alden Smith. Mitch McConnell was rushed to the hospital today. Senator Mitch McConnell. I just saw that news flash earlier. He's been pretty sickly. Mitch McConnell. He's like 84 years old. This man has been really sick anyway. He should have been retired. I don't know why he's still in office. Some of these people just refuse to go home. They refuse to sit down somewhere and retire. He's way too old to be serving in Congress, right? He's 84. Okay, so it says U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell was admitted to the hospital on Sunday morning, June 14, 2026. His spokesperson, David Popp, confirmed the hospitalization in a statement, noting that the 84-year-old lawmaker is receiving excellent care, though his official diagnosis and current condition have not been disclosed. This man he needs to retire. They said he's receiving excellent care. Witnesses reported seeing McConnell being loaded into an ambulance on a stretcher outside his Washington, D.C. home around 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today. He's the longest-serving Kentucky Republican and has faced several prominent health issues in recent years. That's right. The man is on his last leg. He's 84 years old. Come on now. Some of the recent health issues he's had: early this year in February, he spent over a week in the hospital for flu-like symptoms. In March 2023, he suffered a concussion and broken ribs after a serious fall at a Washington hotel. He also experienced multiple other falls, leading him to regularly use a wheelchair around the Capitol complex. McConnell sparked concerns about his physical fitness after freezing mid-sentence. I remember that. During a press conference on two separate occasions in 2023, this man should not even be serving in Congress. He should retire. McConnell is currently serving out his 7th term in the Senate, which concludes in January 2027. So he got about 6 more months, if he lives. He previously stepped down as the Senate Republican leader early last year and has already announced that he will not seek re-election. He does not need to seek re-election. He needs to just retire right now because he's not in no condition mentally or physically to continue on in his office, period. But yeah, okay. I don't know why these people, they do not want to give up that power. They do not want to just go sit down somewhere and enjoy what last remaining years they have left. We talked about Trump and the war. Disclosure Day, this movie, let's talk about that. So I watched this movie, this Steven Spielberg movie, Disclosure Day, about these aliens or whatever. They're trying to say that this movie is trying to basically say that there is life on other planets and they're superior than we are, and that this movie is trying to make like the government knew about aliens for 79 years, and there's these secret tapes and files and stuff that has been disclosed that show the government abusing aliens and hiding all of this from the public. And to me, this movie, in my opinion, was just a basic this overblown Hollywood hype. It was a typical Hollywood space alien. It's like a modern day E.T. pretty much. Even that alien at the end looked like a new age, new millennial E.T. pretty much. I wasn't impressed with the movie. I didn't think it was good. Like I said, it was overhyped. It just shows to me that pretty much Hollywood is dying, and because there's no, I mean, the movie was just overhyped in my opinion. You can watch it for yourself, but it's pretty much a new version of E.T. Yeah. But anyway, what else? I think that's about it. That's about all I need to say. It's just, like I said, this week is going to be pretty interesting because we're going to see what's going to happen with this war, with this peace agreement, which I don't think is going to hold. Um, gas prices, they have went down because last month it was like over $4 a gallon for unleaded. Number 87 was like $4 and some change, and it did go down to like 369, 379, but that, we'll see how this goes in the next few days. But Israel is pretty much going to be abandoned to fight their own war. They're going to they're not going to agree to this peace agreement. Neither is Iran, because for one, Iran is still fresh on the heels of their supreme leader being killed. They're not going to let that go unpunished. So I just don't see this piece of good. It's not going to hold up. It's just not. But we'll see. I mean, yeah. But anyway, that's about it. That's all I have. It's what, 10:21. I want to get this up and running before midnight. Hopefully I will. Depends on how fast the story uploads to YouTube. But yeah, keep watch, people. Keep watch. Prophecy is being fulfilled each and every day. And like I said, if you have not accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, repented of your sins, prayed and asked the Lord to forgive you and to come into your heart and into your life, now is the time to do so before it's too late, because it's a lot of people who are going to be so devastated when Jesus comes back to collect his church. I mean, it's just only a matter of time now, and all we can do is just continue to warn people that this stuff is getting down to the wire. Is prophecy being fulfilled every day. And what Donald Trump is doing now with this peace treaty and him basically leaving Israel, abandoning Israel to fight on its own, is further fulfilling Bible prophecy. So, and then with this whole the shortage of the oil and the gas and things like that, that's another fulfillment. It's in Revelations. If you guys don't believe me, go and read it, do the research for yourself. But like I said, if you have not been baptized, blood washed, and born again in the blood of Jesus Christ, you better do so now before it's too late, because it's only a matter of time. Jesus is going to crack them clouds. He's going to come down, collect his church, and it ain't going to be nothing but straight global devastation during the tribulation. So, all right, I'm going to stop it right here. I might do a video tomorrow, might do a video Tuesday, I don't know. We're just going to see how this goes. So, enjoy the rest of your evening and the rest of your weekend. Be blessed.
Yeah, police were on the scene in the Winfield Heights section late last night investigating a shooting. They say a woman's car was riddled with bullets. They say this man, a 57-year-old, approached them and would not leave officers alone. Officers tried to remove him from the scene, and they even tried to arrest him. That's when police say he pulled out a weapon that the officers on scene didn't even know the man had. As you said, Neil, 4 officers were on the scene. 4 officers returned gunfire. 3 of them were shot. The mayor this morning offering some very emotional comments in regards to the officers, their condition, and their actions last night.
It is only by the grace of God that 3 of our Philadelphia police officers who were shot in the line of duty tonight are in stable condition. One was shot in the face, one was shot in the hip, and one was shot in the leg. These are husbands, fathers, sons, brothers who came to work today and almost didn't make it home.
Those 3 officers, again, hospitalized here at Penn Presbyterian. Now, the investigation into what happened still ongoing, according to the commissioner, who says right now little is known about that 57-year-old suspect, why he tried to approach those officers, why he interjected himself into what was an active crime scene. The investigation will take some time here. Of course, those 3 officers need to talk to investigators. That 4th officer, who was uninjured, has already given statements to Internal Affairs. And the police commissioner says video surveillance is also going to play a very big key into this investigation. That's the very latest. Reporting live in West Philadelphia, Deanna Durante, NBC 10 News.
I'm Shannon Becker, KOAM Breaking News. The Missouri State Highway Patrol are saying 12 people are dead in a plane crash in Butler, Missouri. This is just north of Nevada and Rich Hill in Bates County. The sheriff's office is saying they have closed down Business 49 for an unknown amount of time. Sergeant Justin Ewing of the patrol says the plane was taking people up to skydive. Emergency responders got a call about 11:30, and as they arrived, they found a plane engulfed in fire. Crash will be investigated by the National Transportation Safety Board. We're working to gather more information right now. I do know at Butler Airport, Skydive Kansas City is a business that operates there. It's unknown if it's related to that business. Click the bit link for updates continually right here. KOAM News Now, Joplin News First, breaking news. I'm Shannon Becker.
From the station working for you, this is breaking news from Fox 4.
So when it hit the ground, I didn't hear as much, but I did feel kind of a wave from the plane hitting, and we kind of saw dirt fly up in the air.
A beautiful morning for a skydiving expedition turns horribly tragic. Tonight, all 12 on board are dead in a fiery crash of a plane about an hour south of the metro. That crash involved a skydiving Kansas City single-engine plane that had just taken off from Butler Memorial Airport and was trying to return. Welcome into Fox 4 News at 10. I'm John Holt. That pilot and 11 skydivers on board died. It happened just before 11:30 this morning, Butler, about an hour south of Kansas City on I-49. We have team coverage for you tonight from near the Bates County scene. We begin with Fox 4's Kirsten Stokes with what we're learning about the crash so far. And Kirsten, I understand in the last hour you've actually been able to get a bit closer and a road is back open.
Yeah, John, that's right. In fact, just 5 minutes before the show, they informed us that we could move closer to the scene. Right now, Business 49 is back open and running, so people can drive now on the highway. Like you mentioned, 12 people were confirmed dead, 11 were skydivers, 1 was a pilot.
We are treating that as a mass casualty.
Within minutes after takeoff, the 750XL airplane had crashed, killing all 12 people on the flight. Bates County Sheriff Chad Anderson says the plane was carrying people headed up for a skydiving expedition.
It's a local airplane that took off from our local airport. It's been here. It's not something that travels. It's not a commercial airline, and that's important to know.
Investigators confirmed this was a privately owned local aircraft. And among the most difficult details, Sheriff Anderson says some of the witnesses on the ground were family members of those on the plane.
Working very closely with the Bates County Sheriff's Office as well as the Butler Police Department, coordinating with family members of those that were lost in this plane crash.
Now, Fox 4 photographer John Hokinson is actually zoomed into some of the leftover debris from the NTSB and FAA investigation. This is actually the closest that we've been able to get to the scene all day. Tomorrow morning, the NTSB official investigator will be on the scene. John?
Kirsten Stokes live a bit closer tonight to that crash scene in Bates County. Tonight, families, friends, and a community are mourning the sudden loss of lives. Fox 4's Jacob Kaufman continues our coverage from near Butler's airport. And Jacob, some in the area, including victims' families, actually witnessed the tragic crash.
That's right, John. Shocked and devastated. It started as just any other day for Bailey Reed and her family. They were actually just leaving their home to go work some sheep. Little did they know that they were about to experience something that they couldn't have ever imagined. Tragedy is something that no one wants to experience. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happened to Bailey Reed and her kids Sunday morning when they saw a skydiving plane fall from the sky, crash into the ground, and kill 12 people on board in Butler, Missouri.
I stopped and there was nothing I could do. The plane was up in flames, so I just said a prayer that everybody was okay and hoping there was no one else on the plane when it happened.
Unfortunately, there is no evidence that anyone survived this crash, and it leads to what Sergeant Justin Ewing with the Missouri State Highway Patrol says is the worst part of their job, notifying family that a loved one has died.
Because we know that we're having to deliver a message that's going to drastically change someone's life forever. And so the most important thing for us is being able to give good, accurate information and give it as fast as possible. We want to notify those family members immediately, and so that's what we're attempting to do today.
After witnessing Sunday's tragic plane crash, Reed says it's a reminder to never take your life for granted.
You just got to remember to live every day kind of like it's your last. I lost my brother shortly last year unexpectedly, and that's one thing that's been, in my mind through this whole situation is tomorrow's never promised, so you hope it doesn't happen, but unfortunately tragedies do.
Sergeant Ewing tells me due to the nature of this incident, all agencies involved will be working to identify the victims that died, and that at this time they'll be doing everything that they can to help comfort the families affected.
Mullen reporting from France. US singer and influencer Oliver Tree has died after a mid-air helicopter crash in Brazil. The 32-year-old pop star, who was on tour, was one of 6 killed when 2 helicopters collided over a beachside suburb of Rio de Janeiro yesterday. The choppers crashed into the parking lot of an electric car dealership, igniting a fire that engulfed at least 20 vehicles. Tree was due to tour Australia in October. An investigation into the cause of the crash is underway. The British Royal Navy has successfully boarded a Russian Shadow Fleet oil tanker in the English Channel after a marathon 6-hour operation. UK forces intercepted and seized the tanker, which they say was intended to aid Russia's war in Ukraine.
Evading sanctions to fund an illegal war in Ukraine will be countered with decisive action, and that's what we've done on this occasion.
The operation is the first of its kind by UK armed forces. 12 people have died after a skydiving plane crashed in Missouri in the United States. 11 skydivers and a pilot were killed when the single-engine plane crashed shortly after takeoff from Butler Memorial Airport around 11:30 local time in the morning. Witnesses say the plane made a sharp left turn moments after takeoff before crashing near the runway and bursting into flames. Emergency crews extinguished the blaze, with the victims yet to be formally identified.
Churrasco. Gabriel! 244, bro! Yeah! Brasil campeão! I'm not searching for a miracle. Here we go, there we go. I'm not searching for a miracle. Here we go, there we go. I'm not searching for a miracle.
And so when I die, I've set it up, my will is set up that when I pass, my family, no one's gonna get a penny. If I have a wife or kids or anything, not getting a f***ing penny. I'll get my kids through college. That's the agreement, but they're not gonna be a silver spoon. They're taken care of because my dad worked on some stuff in the 2000s. When I die, all the money's gonna go back to artists. So I've set up a foundation. It's called Dr. Oliver Tree's Art Grants for Baby Geniuses. And it's set up so that basically the interest generated from my music will take mostly that, but there's also room for other money, because when I die, my art will continue to have residuals and probably be worth more than it is now. People will finally appreciate my stupid videos and my stupid songs. That's when people appreciate you when you're not there anymore. Anyways, they might not. It doesn't even make a difference. But historically speaking, artists' worth go up after they die. So the art will continue to make money no matter what.
My name's Oliver Tree. I'm an adrenaline junkie, and I've done every action sport known to mankind.
There we go. Yeah! Woo! That's how you do it, Oliver!
Honestly, not bad.
When you're angry, you're a chicken, and you treat me like a wet nothing. No fair. I don't ever wanna see you, and I never wanna miss you again.
My name's Oliver Tree, and last summer I built the world's biggest scooter.
Oh my God, I'm gonna make it! I'm gonna make it! He's doing it! He's doing it! He's really doing it! Wait. If you can dream it, you can do it. Work all day.
The football world is mourning the heartbreaking loss of former NFL star Aldon Smith, who has died at the age of 36. The news was confirmed by the San Francisco 49ers on the 13th of June, 2026, leaving fans, former teammates, and the entire sports community shocked and saddened. The organization described his passing as sudden and tragic, while remembering the remarkable talent and infectious smile that made him unforgettable. Aldon Smith was one of the most dominant young defensive players the NFL had ever seen. His incredible rise to stardom captivated football fans across America, and although his career was marked by both triumph and personal struggles, his impact on the game remains undeniable. Today, friends, family, former teammates, and fans remember a gifted athlete whose life ended far too soon. Biography. The rise of a defensive superstar. Aldon Smith was born on the 25th of September 1989 in Missouri, United States. From an early age, he displayed exceptional athletic ability and quickly became one of the nation's most promising football prospects. Before entering the NFL, Smith played college football at the University of Missouri, where he developed a reputation as a relentless pass rusher. His outstanding performances earned him recognition as one of the best defensive players in college football. In the 2011 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers selected Smith with the 7th overall pick. He immediately made history, recording 14 sacks during his rookie season, one of the greatest rookie campaigns ever by a defensive player. The following year, he elevated his game even further, posting a franchise record 19.5 sacks and earning first-team All-Pro and Pro Bowl honors. His explosive speed, strength, and instinct for reaching the quarterback made him one of the NFL's most feared defenders during the early years of his career. Net worth. At the time of his death, Aldon Smith's estimated net worth was believed to be between $1 million and $5 million. During his NFL career, Smith signed lucrative contracts and earned millions through salaries and bonuses, while playing for teams including the San Francisco 49ers, Las Vegas Raiders, and Dallas Cowboys. However, various suspensions and interruptions throughout his career affected his long-term earnings. Despite those challenges, Smith remained one of the most naturally talented defensive players of his generation. Family. Aldon Smith maintained a relatively private family life. Throughout his career, he often kept details about his parents, siblings, and personal relationships away from the public spotlight. While much of his family's life remained private, they were known to be a significant source of support during both his football successes and personal struggles. Following news of his passing, condolences have poured in from across the football community for his loved ones during this difficult time. Personal life. Beyond football, Aldon Smith was known for his charismatic personality and warm smile. Many teammates described him as a kind-hearted individual whose presence could brighten a locker room. However, his life was also marked by significant personal challenges. Throughout his NFL career, Smith faced legal issues and league suspensions that interrupted what many believed could have become a Hall of Fame caliber career. These struggles often overshadowed his immense talent on the field. In later years, Smith reportedly worked to rebuild his life and became involved in mentoring younger athletes, hoping to help them navigate the pressures of professional sports. Cause of death. As of June 2026, the official cause of Aldon Smith's death has not been publicly disclosed. The San Francisco 49ers announced his passing but did not provide further details regarding the circumstances surrounding his death. Multiple news organizations have confirmed that no official cause has yet been released by family members or authorities. Out of respect for Smith and his family, it is important to avoid speculation until official information becomes available. Tribute. Remembering Aldon Smith. Aldon Smith's story is one of extraordinary talent, remarkable achievement, and human complexity. For football fans, he will always be remembered as the electrifying pass rusher who burst onto the NFL stage and dominated offensive lines with rare athleticism. His 19.5 sack season remains one of the greatest defensive performances in San Francisco 49ers history. His journey also serves as a reminder that even the brightest stars can face difficult battles away from the spotlight. Today, the football community mourns not only a former All-Pro but a son, friend, teammate, and mentor whose life ended far too early. Tributes from fans and fellow players have highlighted both his tremendous talent and the sadness surrounding such a young loss. Though his life was not without challenges, Aldon Smith's impact on the game of football will never be forgotten. May he rest in peace, and may his family, friends, former teammates, and countless fans find comfort in the memories he leaves behind. Aldon Smith, the 25th of September, 1989, the 13th of June, 2026, gone too soon, but never forgotten.
Breaking news about the health of former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Joining me with more information is MS Now congressional reporter Michael Schnell. Michael, what do we know about the senator's condition at this point?
Laura, there's not much, but we do know that former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, of course, still a sitting senator, the Republican from Kentucky, is in the hospital. I'll read you a statement that we just got in within the last hour from his spokesperson, David Popp, him writing in a statement, quote, Senator McConnell was admitted to the hospital this morning. He is receiving excellent care. So that is all we have. We do not have more details right now on his condition, what hospital he is at, the reason why he was sent to the hospital. But of course, Mitch McConnell, 84 years old, somebody who has been serving in the Senate for a very long time, but watchers of him, myself, yourself, we've covered him for a while. He has certainly been aging recently. He now is in a wheelchair when he is moving around the Capitol. He has suffered a number of recent falls, most recently being in October of last year, a fall that happened in the Capitol that was caught on video. So certainly a lot more to learn about Mitch McConnell's condition. But right now, all we have is this statement from his spokesperson. I'll read it for you one more time. Quote, Senator McConnell was admitted to the hospital this morning. He is receiving excellent care.
Michael Schnell, thank you so much for that update, and please let us know if you learn any more about the senator's condition.
On the day Donald Trump said the U.S. would sign a deal with Iran to end the war, its ally, the U.S.'s ally, Israel, has hit Beirut's southern suburbs. The attack has angered negotiators in Tehran who say an end to Israel's assault must be part of any agreement with the U.S. And now President Donald Trump has asked Israel and Hezbollah to stop attacking each other. A few moments ago, he posted on social media saying this morning's attack on Beirut should not have happened, particularly on a special day when we're so close to a peace deal with Iran. We're close to a deal that will bring peace to the region, including to Lebanon, and all sides should stand down. There should be no more attacks by Israel, he says, anywhere in Lebanon, but there should also be no more attacks by any other party, including Hezbollah, against Israel. This could be the beginning of a long and beautiful peace. Let's not blow it. We begin with Heidi Jocastro in Washington, D.C. Tell us more, Heidi, about how President Trump has reacted to the latest Israeli actions in Lebanon.
Foley, this seemed to be a pretty full-throated condemnation of the Israeli attacks on Beirut coming from Donald Trump and coming just hours after one was essentially requested by the Iranian military leadership, saying that the U.S. should have seen this coming and should have told Israel not to attack. And indeed, the tenuous nature of the moment with this extension of the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran on the line here. All of that is the context for these words of condemnation from the U.S. president, saying that initially the Hezbollah rocket attacks on Israel, he called those meaningless and small because it did not result in a loss of life or injury, and him telling all sides to stand down, which includes, of course, Israel's attacks on Lebanon as well as Hezbollah's attacks on Israel. Again, all of this is happening as the minutes tick by, and Donald Trump yesterday promising that the extension of the ceasefire would be signed today, which, by the way, happens to be special in another sense that it is his 80th birthday. And now Mike Waltz, the U.S. ambassador to the UN, blaming the delay for this signing, saying that it still could happen today, that it's the president's intention for this deal to be signed today, but blaming it on Iranian negotiators and divisions between the military and civilian leadership there. Now, there's still a lot that is unclear about the text of this memorandum of understanding that the two sides are looking at. But what has been reported is that it would be a 60-day extension of the ceasefire in which the Strait of Hormuz would be reopened. A lot of disagreement, it appears, on exactly how or when that would happen or what it would look like. And also the greater question of what to do with Iran's nuclear material and nuclear program deferred to later negotiations. So still a lot of mixed messaging in terms of when this deal might be signed today or later, but certainly you're seeing President Trump putting his thumb on the scale forcefully, trying to make this happen today.
It's not a spaceship. Aliens haven't landed at the White House. Behind me is what reporters and others are calling the Claw. It's a massive lighting truss for the UFC championship fight that's going to happen this weekend for President Trump's birthday, or officially Flag Day. The UFC fight is a collaboration, really, between the White House, Freedom 250, which is the White House-aligned group running a bunch of semi-quincentennial commemorations in D.C. and across the country, and UFC, which is run by Dana White, who is a longtime friend of the president, going back to the early 2000s when he was one of the only people who would host UFC events at his casinos in Atlantic City. The casinos are gone, but the friendship remains, and Dana White was actually the person who introduced him at the 2016 convention during his first ultimately successful run for the presidency against Hillary Clinton. The event is quite controversial, to say the least. It's currently the subject of at least one lawsuit by activists who are claiming that no, you can't hold for-profit sporting events on the White House grounds, especially when an event is put on by a company in which the president owns stock. And people are also concerned about the optics, about the gigantic structure behind me, which I'm told is temporary, although the president has joked about making it permanent. But what we will see on Flag Day, Donald Trump's birthday, is something that has never been before seen at the White House and possibly will never be seen again here after this time.
From Lebanon to Yemen, Syria.
Now, what's my take on Disclosure Day? Steven Spielberg is a masterful storyteller. I loved the way it brought in psionics It brought in the risks of catastrophic disclosure. I loved Colin Firth as a villain. He's a great villain. And I loved, ultimately, the ending, the finale. And I'm not going to tell you what happens because all of you should go and see it. It's a beautiful film. It's profoundly moving. I'm not going to deny I had a little tear in my eye at the end of the film because I cared passionately about the message that it delivered. And the message that it delivered is that the public have a right to know that we are not alone. It's a very simple message, and at the moment, Steven Spielberg has crafted it beautifully in fiction. What now needs to happen is government, President Trump and every other political leader that's aware of this dirty secret, they need to tell you, the public, the full truth.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.